This is my passion. This is Ike's Outdoors.
Hey guys, Ike here from IkesOutdoors.com. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a few tips on hunting late season. Late season can be some of the easiest and some of the most productive hunting out there, and it can also be a very good time to be in the woods because there's not very many other people taking advantage of it. I know a lot of people who, one, only hunt rifle season, and I know a lot of people who bow hunt up to rifle season, and after rifle season they don't go out again. And I don't know if it's the weather, because usually it's December, January type weather, or if it's just, you know, they've had their fill, or they've killed their deer, you know. But late season can be very effective time to hunt. So I'm going to give you a few tips on that. One is dressing appropriately. I'm not going to give you example, you know, I'm not going to go break out my wardrobe, but layer, you know, get you a good base layer, Under Armour or something like that. Get you good base layers and layer out. Don't just put on, you know, one layer and then put on a heavy coat or bibs over the top of it. Layer. I generally hunt with a base layer, and then I have a 2 base layer system that's made by High Creek. I use it. My base layer is made out of kind of the similar material of Under Armour, and I got a fleece layer that goes over the top of it. I got a pair of pants that are lined with Berber fleece. That's generally what I put on my bottoms. Of course, my boots, depending on the weather, are anywhere from 800 grams up of Thinsulate, and most of the time 800 grams for me is okay down to about 35-40 degrees. Anything lower than that, and I'm going to be wearing my heavier boots, which are 1200 grams or something like that. So so that's what I've got on my bottom. Of course, when I wear my 1200 gram boots, I bought them a half size big, so I can actually put on a big thick pair of socks with those as well. So on my base, I've got my base layer, I've got my fleece layer, and I've got my pants that are lined with Berber fleece. My boots, I've got a 1200 gram Thinsulate boot on for anything under 35 degrees, and I've got a big thick pair of socks on as well. My upper layers, it starts out the same as the base layer on the bottom. I've got my initial base layer, and then I've got a fleece layer that goes over the top of it. And then it really varies from there. Usually I put on some kind of button-up t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt over the top of that. And then I've got a hoodie that I put on, a camouflage hoodie that's fleece. I've got a vest that I'll put on. I've got the Milwaukee heated jacket that I've reviewed not too long ago. It's got a box sitting right here. The M12 jacket, use that quite a bit, or a heavier jacket over the top of it. And I'll add a few layers as I go, but for bow hunting, you got to really watch it. It's almost better to be a little lighter and be a little bit cold as long as you're comfortable, so you can still draw that bow back and still have that motion. So layer on top and get everything nice and layered along the way. For bow hunting, I don't wear big, thick, heavy gloves. I wear lighter weight gloves that, you know, basically the same gloves that I'd wear turkey hunting. It's just something to kind of keep my hands warm, and 90% of the time I've got at least one hand in my pocket. Sometimes when I'm sitting down, I'll hook my arm through my string of my bow, and I'll put that arm in my pocket and just cradle my bow under my arm or in my lap, or I'll have it hung up. You know, sometimes in late season you can see really far, and if I can see far, I'll have my bow hung up to where it's easily, where all I got to do is reach around, grab it, and go. And I'll have both hands in my pockets. Hand warmers, the little muffs that go around your waist with some hot hands, are excellent. But since I wear a really light glove, put my hands in there and I can keep my hands warm. And I wear a light glove simply because I want to be able to feel what's going on. I want to feel the grip on my bow. I want to feel my release, especially now that I'm shooting a back tension release. I want to feel those things. So I wear a really light glove. Over my head, I generally wear a ball cap. I don't wear anything really over my head. I got a really nice neck gaiter that I found that I can pull up, and I can put it over my face. If you don't wear glasses, I can pull it all the way up to my nose and it'll cover my ear. I can actually wrap it right around there and it covers all the way down. Like I said, it goes all the way down into my over my neck and into my jacket. Works awesome. Really works nice. Now for you guys who do wear glasses, all I do is I simply, instead of having it over my nose, I simply pull it down and put it right there above my lip. And it makes sure it's clear, so my breath when it comes out goes down and not comes back up under my glasses. So that is one thing you really got to be conscious of is your glass. You don't want them things fogging up. So, but that's one of the most important things for late season is dressing. You know, I've hunted in temperatures. Me and a friend went out one day and it was 14 degrees outside and we had a straight north wind. By the time we got out of the tree stand that night, it was in the single digits and the wind chill was down in the negatives, and we had absolutely no reason to be hunting in that kind of stuff. Now, if that's the weather that you're going to be hunting in, just be prepared for it. You know, be smart about it, because it can kill you quick. You guys that hunt up north and get those kind of temperatures all the time, you know how quick something like that can kill you. So be sure, if you're going to hunt late season, you know, be dressed appropriately and take the right precautions. When I walk in late season, I wear my base layers, and I've got this really nice Nimrod pack back here. Then it's got 2 straps on top of it. I wear my base layer, my fleece layer, and maybe my shirt, and all my jackets, my heavy jackets, I put right on that thing and I strap them down and I carry them in. And then when I get to my tree stand, as I start cooling off, I start putting those things on one piece at a time. And generally I get there early enough that by the time the sun has come up, I've got all my clothes on and I'm not doing it in the daylight. But you don't want to get a sweat going. Sweat going up against your body, you get there, you start getting chills. Next thing you know, you got hypothermia, and the next thing you know, you're in trouble. So study those things, you know, look up hypothermia, see what the signs of it are, and the best ways to avoid it, and use those right precautions when you're hunting late season. So, you know, that's how you want to dress, and some of the precautions you want to take. The reason deer I like hunting deer in late season, and the reason I think they're a little easier to find is one, the rut is over and food sources are almost gone. At this point, the deer have been pushed around, they've lost their food sources. You know, I always give it a week or so after rifle season before I really start hitting it hard again. But if you can find a food source in late season, then you've hit gold. You know, and do this study, you know, study this, find what's going to be out there late season. Hickory trees, you know, there's some Kentucky coffee bean trees that last season I seen deer just eating those things up. You know, if you can put corn out, then you can put corn out, and you can bring the deer into you. But find those food sources in late season, and you're going to find the deer. In December, January, if there's a food source, you're going to find the deer. And at that point, the bucks who have made it through rifle season and who've made it through the rut without doing something stupid, their bodies are depleted, and they have got to get on that food source and start getting their fat built back up, and getting their calorie intake's got to go way up, because they've been depleted for so long and been running so hard for so long. So you can find those food sources, and you know, at that point you don't have to worry about the does being an estrus. If you see a doe, you don't have to worry about, you know, I pass a doe during the rut. At that point, I go back to shooting does again. And at that point as well, you know, if I've got meat in the freezer, I'll let those does walk. And on that food source, there is a lot of times where I've seen bucks come in there and had good luck harvesting bucks late in the year, just finding those food sources, because there ain't very many of them around. So cover's a little bit hard to find. You got to sit still a little bit more because you don't have leaves, you know, abundantly around you. Deer are going to be a little bit easier to pattern because, like I said, there are so few food sources. So just main tips that I can give you for that time of year is dress appropriately, and don't be afraid of the weather. Get out there and get in it. If you've got the right clothes, just take the right precautions, and you find the food source at that point in the year, and you'll find a deer. I'd love to go on about this for 20-25 minutes like I do about the rut and stuff like that, but hunting late season for me has always been a lot easier than hunting early season or hunting the rut when there's a lot of stuff going on. All I do at that point is go out and find a food source and set my butt on it. And you know, some days you're not going to see any deer, but usually if you can find that food source in the late season, you'll see an abundance of deer. They'll start really packing back up, and they'll start really getting in big groups, and you can really get into some good deer hunting. You can get some good experiences going on at that time of the year. And I don't know why, but part of me, I just love being out in the cold. I love being in the woods on a cold, frosty morning. Just absolutely love doing that kind of stuff and being out in the woods at that time. So take advantage of the late season. Find those food sources, dress appropriately, and I guarantee you in the late season you're going to find some deer, and you're going to have some success in late season. So for more product reviews, more how-to videos, more tips, you can check out our website, ikesoutdoors.com. Appreciate you guys watching.